I'm Scott Plunkett, and I have a PhD in human environmental sciences with a specialization in family relations and child development. An undergraduate degree in psychology, and as well as speech communication, and a master's in education with a focus on counseling. What I need to be doing is getting research experience because, inevitably a PhD is a doctorate of philosophy, which really is synonymous with a doctorate of research. And I had no research experience. And so my big advice to students today is to try to get as much research experience as possible if your goal is to go after a PhD. Uh, if your goal is not PhD but to be a practitioner, then my suggestion is to get as much volunteer experience as possible, or at least experience in the field, because that's going to make you more marketable. I believe that anytime that you do this writing, you need to always present yourself very professionally. Um, I quite frequently have students who send me emails that are from a crazy email address, first off, like bigstud at AOL.com. Anyway, and then they, if they're frustrated or upset, then that frustration comes through. A lot of times they don't even sign it with their name. They'll just say frustrated student. And that's not the way to do things. Every time you communicate with a professor or a potential employer or somebody who may know a potential employer, everything needs to be professional. On the resume and Vita, whenever I help students develop a header, then that header is something then that goes on their cover letter, their personal statement, their thank you letters, and so on. It's very important to maintain that level of professionalism across all standpoints, because you never know who that person knows, and if you're not professional, they're not going to recommend you for certain positions and so on. To address the letter in the way that that the person likes to be addressed, whether that's by their first name, last name, professor, doctor. And if you don't know them, err on the side of caution and always say, "Dear Doctor So So," or "Dear Professor So and So." In that thank you letter, is say something along the lines of, "Dear Dr. Plunkett, I really appreciate the opportunity to get to know you and the staff at California State University Northridge. After visiting with you, I'm really more excited about the possibility of entering your master's program. By the way, during the interview, you asked me about so and so, and I forgot to mention that blah, 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 blah. Again, thank you for the opportunity to learn more about CSUN. I look forward to hearing back from you. Sincerely, Scott Plunkett." It's important that when you do not get a position or get into a program, that you send an appropriate "thank you for rejecting me" letter. And it would sound something like this. "Dear Dr. Plunkett, although disappointed not to get into the General Experimental Psychology program at CSUN, I know that there were many qualified applicants, and I'm sure whoever you chose were excellent fit. If somebody would happen to decide not to attend, I would be very grateful to be, considered in case another, position comes open. Do not, in that letter, say, also, could you please give me information about how I could do better next time,